All right, what is going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is all about play testing the Skechers Razor. This, of course, is the Diamond Ice colorway, which I think looks absolutely sensational. White boots with baby blue accents is just my thing. I love them. They are kind of dirty. I tried to clean them off a little bit, but they still got some dirt on them. I wore them for a warm-up last weekend, 2 weekends ago, for one of our games for 1-0. And super comfy, but we're gonna talk a little bit more about that in today's video. Now, if you're curious about like sizing and stuff, I do have a free size guide on my website. Link is down below in the description box. You can find it on my Instagram highlights. You can just like screenshot it, or I'll just let you download the PDF for free. You just throw in your email and it'll email you automatically. So you can go check that out on my website. Every single boot I've ever reviewed is on there. All the different size categories, plus like a little blurb about like, is the midfoot wide? Is the toe box wide? And so you can kind of pick which ones you like based on other stuff and compare and contrast. Let's hop into the playtest. All right, here we go. How sick, I mean, a little bit dirty, but how good do these look? Oh man, Skechers Razor. Such a good looking football boot in my opinion. Looks very premium, at least in this colorway. I don't know what y'all think. Oh, lovely. So one of the reasons why this boot is going to be interesting, and I'm very, very curious to know how they're going to go in today's session, is number one, the sole plate with how aggressive this traction is. Works great on natural grass surfaces, which of course is why these boots are muddy. The second thing is how they're gonna go from the width. The reason I was actually planning to wear these for that game, but I ended up switching it up and wearing a different pair of boots because of the width was just kind of bugging me a little bit, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't have to deal with any problems with the width during the course of a match, which is like, you know, that's just a rule of thumb. Like, don't wear a new pair of boots unless they fit you perfectly straight into a match. But in today's session, see how many times I have to take them off. I'm gonna loosen the laces a little bit, so I'm only tying them like just until they go tight like that. So I do have a little bit more wiggle room than normal, and then you tie the top pretty tight, and that's how I usually like to break in the width of the boot. But the Razor feels fantastic straight out of the box in my opinion, especially if you are somebody with kind of either average to narrow feet. I think these are going to be top of the list for a lot of people because of how insanely good this upper is. This upper is fantastic. As I was explaining in one of the, I don't know if it was this colorway review or the new colorway, the silver and green ones, but it really does feel like a slightly more premium plush version of what was on Vapor 10. And for me, that is such a big deal. And then of course, this mesh-based synthetic material here through the midfoot, really seamless transition between the two materials, which makes the playing experience in these so sensational. So let's get into some footwork. So first thing I notice as well, so let's talk a little bit about sole plate as we get into a little bit of footwork action. Lovely. Yeah, these studs are gripping into the ground really aggressively, which is great if you're playing on FG. Remains to be seen about this one, about this surface. But yeah, one of the main things that I'm noticing with the underfoot experience is actually that Hyperburst Pro sock liner, which is pretty noticeable underneath your foot, especially on a surface like this that's really hard. I mean, this turf is actually quite new, so it is probably a little bit better than most other turf that I played on. But the bounciness and sort of the cushy sensation that you feel underfoot on these is very noticeable straight out of the box. Upper feels good so far, especially with some of these sideways movements. I'm getting really nice responsiveness through the upper and through the sole plate, which is always a good sign for kind of that lateral stability and stuff. I wouldn't say they're the most locked in boots I've ever felt, but they're definitely adequate for a speed boot. I'm a little bit bummed because as the filming of this video, I haven't had a chance to try the new F50s nor the new Puma carbons. So unfortunately, this video will probably come out before those reviews, but I'll compare them at least to what's currently on the market. So Puma Ultra Ultimate and the Crazy Fast series. And so far, man, at least for those two, these are giving those a run for their money. I think a lot of it comes down to the softness of this upper compared to something like the Puma Ultra, and the sole plate is way more interesting. Way more interesting on this one because, you know, obviously I'm not actually sure whether it's actually carbon infused or whether they just say that for marketing purposes and it's got like, you know, 1% carbon or whatever. But it's a more interesting sole plate, I think, than the Ultra. It's definitely more comfortable. Like this upper, look at that. And that's after like 30 minutes in a warm up and then 5 or 10 minutes playing out on pitch. That's so impressive. And the good thing so far is that I'm not feeling any hot spots yet on my feet. There is a little bit of stud pressure, but that is very much to be expected for a boot that's this aggressive, the stud traction. Any speed boot, frankly, like Vapor, Crazy Fast, any of those ones has quite a bit of stud pressure just because of the nature of the surface, playing on AG, and then of course, playing with an FG stud pattern that is meant to really like dig in. And so these don't obviously dig all the way into the ground, so you do feel like you're skating a little bit, but it's not all that bad, to be fair. All right, and of course, mandatory check for not only how dope they look, but also there's your little hole on the outside. That is only about, I'll try to be smooth about this, only about enough for a little bit of one finger. So it's not bad. Like, as you can see, it's a little bit bubbly there, but honestly, like my feet, especially when you lock your ankle, it's only when you like twist your ankle like that that you can see a little bit of the gap. And on that side, it's not as pronounced, but like if I just stand straight like that, no gap. So that's pretty good. And then as you can see, sizing wise, obviously, as I said before, go download the size guide because that'll give you a really good idea, but my toes come right up to the end. You can kind of see, actually, let's turn around. I'll show you there you go. Okay, there you can see all my toes wiggling, and look how soft that upper is already. So impressive. So yeah, there you go. A little mandatory check. Let's get some passing going. You guys probably recognize this little four cone drill with 7 MLC with Michael, my homie. Obviously somebody would be there and there, but whatever. We'll make it work. So a little bit of passing. We'll see how we go. Back in the middle, back to the side, all the way to the back, touch, and play again. Lovely. Yes. Yes. All the way to the back. Yes. Very simple. Love that. So one of the big things that I'm noticing straight away is the seamlessness of the transition between the synthetic on the forefoot and the midfoot. So that's one thing that I really look for in boots that don't have a one-piece upper, is that transition between. And so a boot that's got a pretty soft and reasonable plushness to the forefoot and a really thin and locked in midfoot, to have a very seamless transition is absolutely fantastic. Because really at the end of the day, what you want is, as I'm passing the ball, as I'm manipulating it inside, outside, like whatever kind of touch I'm taking, I really want that surface to feel super natural, as if I'm almost barefoot, especially when I'm buying a speed boot, right? So if you're on the market for a speed boot, that's what you want. You don't want like different materials and you've got weird creasing and stuff. These provide a very seamless experience, which is fantastic as well. Go, bang. Go around, bang. Here, bang. Yes. Lovely. There. Big touch. Come around. Big one. Now I'm getting the pattern. There we go. Feels good. Feels clean. The touching on the upper feels fantastic. God, I really like this forefoot. Get around it. Big pass back. There we go, and we'll fix the cone. But yeah, this is a very impressive boot. I'm gonna take them off really quick and I'll show you some of the hot spots. All right, so taking them off, and this right here is where I figured I'd get some hot spots, but I just wanna give my feet a rest a little bit just because obviously gotta be careful, not get injured. But yeah, right there, kind of in that area. So this is still obviously the upper splits in that line. So it's still part of kind of right there or even on the crease, which is where I'm getting the most hot spots on my left foot. Surprisingly, no hot spots on my right foot. My feet are the same size, so I don't have the issue where I have to order like a different size. But I mean, look at that, guys. That is nuts. Very, very well done. The knit material feels good. I would say that this is the problem with the SKX as well, is both of the knit materials around the collar feel really annoyingly flimsy and just kind of like cheap feeling, which is ironic or kind of weird because the knit here in this, which I know is the same, actually feels really robust and nice around your foot, but it's just this little piece, I don't know, it's like probably half an inch of little material around the collar is just so grossly floppy. Like that doesn't exist on any of the other boots on the market that are knit. It doesn't feel like that, and I don't like how floppy it is. So that's obviously one thing that I'm not great on. This outside stud here, because my foot is so wide coming into it kind of pushes out there. So in between these two, that's where I get like the most annoyance. This stud right here, I can definitely feel. Here's the thing though, that's on AG. On an FG pitch, I really like this stud because it allows me to sort of grip in this way, or as I'm turning and I sort of land like that and grip. It works great on an FG pitch because it digs into the ground, but on an AG pitch, this stud, not so great. All right, now into a bit of shooting. Really, my goal here is to get through this as quickly as possible, take a touch out, and really find out as I'm whipping it into that far corner there, number one, how the feeling is of whipping the ball, given that this has little to no grip on the upper, and also to kind of reinforce the striking ability of a shoe that's, well, yeah, I mean, I can hit a ball clearly, but it's gotta be accurate as well, you know what I'm saying? All right, here we go. Lovely, good touches. Nice, wrapping in, nice. Perfect, honestly, no complaints from a striking perspective. I am starting to feel a little bit the lack of structure. Oh my goodness, just completely lost it there. Lack of structure, so as I'm coming out of this final gate, touching, and as I'm planting, I'm getting a little bit of slippage. It's not the type of slippage that hurts, like it's not the type of slippage that's blister, oh, like, I'm about to get a blister. It's more just a little bit of like shifting inside the boot. Now, I don't know if that's because the upper is so soft and so they sacrifice a little bit on the, on the side a little bit and the lockdown. Nice. Oh, in America, we call that a postage stamp, baby. Come on. Right, so I don't know if it's slippage because I don't feel like I'm slipping on the bottom of my foot. So I don't feel like it's the grip socks or anything. Like grip socks are keeping me locked in. I think what it is just because this upper is so soft, it sacrifices a little bit in terms of like that like extreme plant movement where you'll get a little bit of slippage, but like, I don't know. I have more slippage on an AG surface anyway than I do on an FG. So if you're playing on FG, most of the time you're not gonna slip, I don't think at all, out of these boots. All right, a little bit different here. So coming through, this box is meant just for those of you who want the drill. It's literally just a freestyle. So I can go cut here, like whatever kind of zigzag pattern I wanna do around, or just literally just go around the box. It doesn't really matter. But that's the idea, just to train a little bit of that 1v1 skill move. So with this one, in, out, in, wrap it around, golazo, love that. So from a slipping perspective, as I said, if you're on FG, which I was playing 2 weekends ago now, you're not gonna find really any slippage. It's just because on AG, this plate grips into the ground super aggressively. And so obviously you're gonna get, like, as I'm gripping into the ground, because the stud pattern is so aggressive, it's not gonna let the boot move at all. And so regardless of how stiff the upper is, you really are gonna get quite a aggressive fit and feel as you're planting. That was a poor shot. That's all right. So that's really, I think, the issue here. I don't think it's like an upper problem. I don't think it's a sole plate problem. It's literally just wearing a boot that's like too aggressive for AG. Right in the keeper's hands. All right, fair enough. Couple free kicks and crossbar challenge, and then we'll get into final thoughts. All right, as always, you guys know the drill. 2 shots, 1 each foot. See how we go. And no cuts in between. All right, little laces action, no problem. Bang. Oh, so sad. That's all right. Well, pinging for sure feels good. With how seamless this is, man, I really like striking the ball with these. Let's get some free kicks going. All right, just got the cone for the marker. We'll go right on the inside of the cone, try and make sure that this wind is crazy today. And you might be asking, Noah, why in the hell are you out on the field filming when it's so windy? Well, first of all, these microphones are great. Second of all, I have a baller editor, Kelvin, who, hi Kelvin. Everybody say hi, Kelvin, in the comment section, please. And third of all, it's supposed to get really rainy, and I really wanted to get some filming done, and it is absolutely stunning out here. Here we go, first free kick. All right, right shape, hit the ground before hitting the ball, so that's obviously a technique thing, but nice shape on that. Needs to go up and down a little bit more. But ball feel while striking is fabulous in these. Nice, there it is. That's probably going into the wall, but you get the idea. Yeah, ball feel is fantastic in these. I love, every time I strike the ball, I just feel like I've got such a connection to what I'm doing. There's no distractions, obviously no grip elements. So, you know, unfortunately for those of you who want to use and utilize that grip, you're not going to get it, but here we go, last one. Oh, wow, okay. We're just going to go run and grab a new one because we cannot end on the worst shot of the day. All right. So, but you get what I mean, right? Like when you have a upper that is so seamless, and for those of you, to be fair, who wore Vapor 11, these will probably remind you a lot of those. A little bit different for sure, but very similar in a lot of ways. So same run up, same strike, here we go. A little bit better. I don't know, maybe not my day for free kicks with these, but that's all right. Still great ball feel and really no complaints when it comes to striking. All right, fam, that is going to wrap up the play test of the Skechers Razor. I am really excited about this football boot for a lot of reasons. One, we play on artificial grass basically 0 times, other than me going out of my way to find an AG pitch. And so for FG surfaces, these boots are gonna be absolutely fantastic. For AG, they'll be fine. I do hope, I'm actually gonna talk to some people at Skechers who I've gotten introduced to now and see if they're gonna produce an AG model, because I think an AG model of this would be very competitive, especially given how close to the ball you feel, how fantastic the responsiveness of the sole plate is. It's a little bit like, it's very snappy, especially here in the midfoot. It's got really great ground feel. Maybe it's not the most responsive, but it does feel really, really good. So that combination with a lightweight, as I mentioned, or I guess didn't mention in the video, the heel area, 0 issues at all. So no slippage. And even with some of the kind of weird like internal slippage I was having during the course of that shooting, especially on my right foot in that first shooting drill, no heel slippage at all. It's more of just like sideways movement, which again, as I said, is a function of wearing such an aggressive tooling on an AG surface. These grip in, they don't move, and then your foot slides around a little bit, which is to be expected, I guess. But yeah, very excited about these. Skechers absolutely crushed it with this football boot. I think they can really only go up from here because this is, I mean, they could go actually down a lot if they screwed this up, but I think they're really going to start to improve this boot and really make it one of the top contenders on the football boot market, especially in the speed boot category. For me, this is on par, at least in feeling and touch and stuff, as the Furon. It's a little bit less locked in than the Vapor. So if you have a little bit of a wider foot and you like the Vapor, or you liked Vapors in the past, I think you're gonna really love these. I think this reminds me a lot of like older Vapors. And so yeah, man, I honestly, Skechers Razor, fantastic. Yes, there's a few drawbacks, but there are with every boot. So if you are somebody with a foot like mine, so pretty wide in the midfoot, I think you can sneak into these true to size. If you need to go half a size up, I actually think you'd be fine. It'd just give you a little bit of extra space on the toe box area, and then you'd have a little bit more width. So I think you'd be totally fine. Minor improvements to this boot would make it one of the best on the market, in my opinion. So yeah, I don't know, man. There's not much else to say about these. These are absolutely fantastic. They feel great. They're breaking in really well. I'm super impressed with how quickly I was able to break these in, considering these are like a speed boot and they're a little bit, and they're synthetic on the more kind of chill side. So yeah, I don't know. I like these a lot. I also really love how they look, and so maybe that's part of it. I just think the look of these is so sick, so clean, especially with that kind of metallic-y sole plate with the carbon infused. Again, they're probably like 0.5% carbon, who knows, but yeah, anyway, that's gonna wrap up the video for today, guys. I hope you liked that. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know down in the comment section below. First of all, you gotta say hi, Kelvin, because Kelvin's a boss and he's a great editor, and a great human too. And also, let me know down in the comments what else you guys want to know in the 1 month review once I test these a little bit more and break these in fully, about anything I didn't answer in today's video. I feel like I covered most things, but of course I probably missed something that one of you guys is interested in. Size guide is down in the description box below. As always, be awesome. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.